You're watching BCTV, Branford's community access station.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another Around the Town of Branford with Henry, Frank, and Alex. We're here at the Riverside Foote Park in Branford. There's been a lot of improvements made thanks to Bill Van Wilgen, because it's his family's and his business's 100th anniversary in town. And Alex Palluzzi Jr., our town parks and recreation director, is with me, and he's going to be telling us all about the improvements that the Van Wilgens, Public Works, and everybody, have. It's just a fantastic improvement here.
Yeah, Frank, thanks for having me today. I know I just mentioned that Jamie Cosgrove was trying to be here today, but he had a 10 o'clock. Gary's busy with some road improvements, and Bill Van Wilgen, we expected him here, but he might have got caught up. But
yeah.
It's fine that they're not here, because I haven't been able to publicly thank them enough for what happened down here, and just a little bit of history on this property. This, from our point of view, was that this was privately owned by the Foote Trust, and as you know, on December 29th of 2015, we took over Foote Park, and a lot of people don't realize that this parcel of land, it's really three parcels if you count the one just across from your homestead, and everyone thought that was Foote Riverside Park, which it is, but this is the other parcel off of Foote Riverside Park, which is on Old Pine Orchard Road, which we came off of, and which was an open lot and a field before.
Exactly.
And they would cut it once in a while, not as it's cut like a lawn now, but they would cut it once in a while. So Parks and Recreation, we do cut. We're responsible for this. The Board of it's under our jurisdiction, the Board of Recreation. But Gary, I think, gave me an early Christmas present last year. I'm going to say that. And I know he said they were going to do some work here, and that he likes to do things, to do it, not get credit for it, run away from it, and then make me look good, as far as make us look good, make the town look good. And actually, Jamie and Gary work well together, and
yes,
they always have. And I think they know how each other goes.
Yes.
And what's great about it was, I've always said this, Jamie's got great vision, always has, and a lot of that comes through Gary. Gary has a lot of great ideas, and a lot of other things that we do in town. And he's really making not just the parks, but open areas, really look good. So I was able to. He's not the type that really wants any honor, but you're getting it right now, live on TV.
That's for sure.
And the reason I wanted to say that is that I actually went over. I went to Bill Van Wilgen for Christmas, and also Ryan, his son, and I gave them a nice laminated plaque of what they did, the work that they did down here.
Really, that's
and
great.
Then Gary's I did too, but it wasn't in. I had to make sure I had the right color for both of them, But I was able to just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I just stopped over Gary's house, which he usually wants permission for me to go over, which I can understand. It's private property, but I think it meant a lot to him because his son was there, and came out, and I presented it, the plaque to him, and I think it meant something to him. But he doesn't like a lot of credit. He always calls me the show pony, but we're made for TV, Frank. I don't know what to tell you.
It's true.
We've been on TV since the 80s, but
it's true.
I want to just make sure, though, that, thankfully for the Foote that we got this. Jamie Cosgrove, is the one that, and Jim Finch, I don't want to forget Jim, that really brought this deal together, and I was proud to be part of it, and perpetually for years to come. We had a meeting yesterday with Judge Ford Joan to read the. Once a year we meet together to go over the finances of the park, and it's a very healthy trust that
the Foote Trust,
Foote Trust that a lot of a lot of the town has benefited from. Also, Trinity Church specifically in the last couple of years, and also the Zion Church.
Yes,
we're all part of that will.
Yeah,
and obviously also Foote Park down at Melrose Avenue, is really our big park. And people think it's just that, but there's so much more to the Foote Trust. And,
That's true.
They're actually going to have Sharon Grayson invite us to an open house, which is happening July 9th. I think it's, I forgot the time, but I opened it up yesterday, and we'll be there. But getting back to that, and it's just not here. He's done a lot of work at some of the parks. He's just, I call it Gary. This is my name for him. I call him Johnny Appleseed, because he's really about. He's got the talent to do it, and so I can remember if Henry can look off to our west over there, and see all those on the private property. You can see all the invasives and all the tree, and that's exactly how this spot was where we are now.
Yeah, it was all overgrown.
And really just Gary thought to get a couple benches to be off of the Public Works did those benches off of the river.
They came up beautiful.
And actually, it was very important to do. We talked about the elm.
Yes, the elm trees that were planted here. Yeah.
And a lot of the plantings were native here and stuff like that. And we're all around town. You're seeing that we're putting in pollinator gardens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the Forestry Committee and Shirley McCarthy. I don't want to forget about them. We're involved with this project too. So it really came to. But again, it was driven by Jamie and Gary pretty much. And Gary kind of said, we can clean up some of these areas throughout town.
Yes, yeah.
Gateways to town. And I'm telling you, to be quite honest, when this project was done, it just pops at you. So when you come down here, and I know it's really important to do that throughout town, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Yeah.
There's been other areas they've been in different sections of town. They even brought it to Foote Park. So Gary designed it down there, and actually, by the way it worked out is that Van Wilgen is going to actually be doing the work down there. But I want to say that they planted over 100 plantings here.
Yeah.
And it was all donated by Bill Van Wilgen.
Yes.
And I never gave Bill Van Wilgen enough credit for what he's done in town on the town green. So many projects. I'm just excited that I'm going to be working with them. Down to Foote Park, at Foote Park.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never worked with them together, on a project, and they've done a lot of donated, things to the town that you take for granted sometimes, and I don't take Bill Van Wilgen, for granted. Even you probably don't notice the holiday tree on the green was donated by him over 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And now he's looking for another one for the future too.
Really, is he?
Already working on it. So he's always doing things behind the scenes.
Yeah. On
the front that we redid the flagpole just a year ago.
It came out beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
And then he just did in the back part of where the playground was. So
Van
Wilgen has done a lot for the community, which is I'm really grateful for them. We were able to honor them. But again, Gary came down, and they came down here. They did, and all of a sudden it just happened. And so that was my Christmas present, and I tried to give it back to them, because they should be acknowledged for the work they do.
Absolutely. So I guess this is what happened, right? I believe the year was 1920 when the guy's name, right? It was the grandfather of Bill Van Wee, Wilhelm Van Wee. He purchased that gray house right over there, and there were greenhouses there, and that's where the Van Wilgen Garden Center started, right? Across the lawn. Yeah. So I believe what happened was what the family decided to do, they talked about, as to how could they honor the grandfather and their 100th anniversary, 2020. So they decided to give to the town at this park, as Alex said, they gave about 100 plants, and they planted them as well. And there's trees here. I believe the trees they donated were both, right? It's the magnificent elm, as well as, let's see, there's another species too. I believe they donated rosebuds trees. Okay. They also gave all sorts of plants, which, right, they're all in bloom now. They're beautiful. They gave the following plantings: bee balm, milkweed, sedum, Joe Pye weed. They gave dogwood, winterberry, honeysuckle, all here at this park. Right, it's Foote Riverside Park on Pine Orchard Road. It came out great.
Yeah, it came out great. You went over those. I'm learning a little bit more about the plantings and stuff like that. We were big on organic care.
Oh, you always have been with your fields.
Right, but
you've won awards in the
right.
state for that.
But this is a new. I learned all the way along, and I'm learning a lot more about all these beautiful plantings that you just mentioned and stuff like that. The milkweed. I mean, just it's and there's some really interesting names.
Yeah.
So.
Joe Pieweed.
Joe Pieweed, right. So, but what I'm saying again is they came down and it was just, this whole area was Public Works under Gary, cleared it out.
Yeah.
Bill Van Willigen came in and if I'm not incorrect, Gary's grandfather worked for...
Right, for the grandfather.
Grandfather.
Right, yeah, that's correct, yeah. Yeah, that's
right,
true.
many
That's
years.
true.
So there was a nice tie-in.
Very nice, yeah.
A really nice tie-in. And
yeah.
So, a lot of people, and just let you know, a lot of people are coming by telling me, oh, it's beautiful over there, but, we'll take credit for cutting the grass, but, obviously Gary is the one that is, drove this project along with Bill, and it just really beautifies Branford, and I know that, that's his talent, Johnny Appleseed. He'll Tabor Drive's another area, the Tabor Pathway down there where he's done some great work and stuff like that. So, I just, it's a good opportunity because, we are most appreciative, the board of Parks and Rec, and myself and our staff, because I keep telling him he's making us look good, but it's, but I do give the credit where the credit is due, whether when it's there, and that's important because. You got a talent, you utilize it, and that's kind of what, I've been here for a long time, and, we've been lucky to get his services, and, he's got his staff, working really well, and it's for Branford, that's the whole thing. As you mentioned to me the other day, we're all Branford, you're right, the Zelinskis, the Cosgroves, the Palluzzis, we're all Branford, and I think it means, when you work in your community, you're going to give that much more, and that's what you're getting out. That's what you get out of a Jamie Cosgrove. You get out of a Gary Zelinsky. You get out of myself and my staff. People that, and I'm not saying there's not other people that don't do good work in town. I'm just saying sometimes it means more when it's your hometown.
Oh, absolutely,
And we're proud of it. I mean, I used to dream about Foote Park, and never realized that. I knew this had something to do with it. I knew that was Foote Riverside Park, but a lot of residents don't know that, and it's just beautiful properties that were left to the town, and they were private. They were for the town's use. But I used to, Joe Trapasso would have been so proud that our department took over the take of Foote Park and its properties, just because he was involved when it first started, back when Wally Foote was in the community house in '62. It goes back that far.
Yes.
About a conversation. Maybe someday we can do something for the town, and Wally Foote did.
Yeah.
So it's really thanks to the Foote Foundation and the Foote Trust too to keep it going.
Yeah.
Regina Collins, I don't want to mention, and Kelly from the Foote Trust. We had met with them yesterday. It's healthy. Jamie's goal for the future, and my goal, and I know the town's, is that it's perpetual, that it goes on forever. And we've made many improvements down there too, capital improvements, and we're continuing to do that, and we're going to continue to do that.
Yes.
We've had a 5-year plan down there. We're going to continue that. We're looking, and we'll talk more about that on the second segment. We're going to look to do pickleball courts, possibly, maybe some more lighting improvements. There's been so many improvements down there, and I know when we do phase 2, we'll talk about those improvements. And getting back to the Van Wilgens, they're going to be doing the project down there along with Public Works again.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other ones that I might not know about. I know they're in the works, and then when they get done, we'll cover them and stuff. Gary loves to surprise me, so
and they're great surprises too.
Yeah, they are. No, they are. They're just, it's for the community in town, but it really it just adds to it. So it's a cooperation, as they say, collaboration and stuff.
Yeah. And
working together. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
Still have work to do.
Always, right?
Jamie and Gary will agree with that, but we still, from our end, we still have work to do, and we're getting there. Our staff has really had a turnaround. I got a lot of young guys that are talented. And
You provide the leadership.
yeah, right. But they, correct. But I got to call them in, and I'm trying to learn how I did from picking up trash. And we call basically what Gary did here. We call this postcard perfect.
It's true. It's beautiful.
So that the edging's done, the weeding gets done, the grass gets cut the proper way.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So the young guys, they're coming along. They're talented, and then we today we had a meeting just about that stuff, and it's the little things, the trash, picking up the trash. Seeing like I can see the sticker over, that's bothering me, but I'm going to go get that and make sure it's not there. But that's just part of what happens.
Yeah.
It's all about pride
and
what you do. So we're just we're always trying to improve and get better at what we do.
It's great.
And you have to do that.
The parks are all beautiful.
Right, and we're right, but we're getting there. But it takes a lot to do that, and it takes
Yeah.
a cooperative effort. And we have a lot of departments in town that work well together. And I know I mentioned specifically with Gary, but we've had a lot of, I talked about Jim Finch in finance and Catherine and the administration, but also even engineering.
Yep.
We probably have the best cooperation with engineering and public works since I've been
John
here.
Hofferly.
John Hofferly
Yep.
and also Jen Aquino.
Yep.
They're always trying to make sure we're doing the right thing, and
Yeah.
they have
They're
their
doing good
talents.
projects. Yeah, they do good projects.
Yeah, and even like a great project was down at. They helped me not only down at Branford Point when we did the parking last week. The whole parking lot.
That came out great.
That came out really well, but they also helped us with the tennis courts, believe it or not. So,
really? Did
yeah,
they?
so that's what I'm saying. There's a lot more. Jamie loves that with our departments that we work together.
Yeah.
And there's still a work in progress, and with all of us at times. But I mean, it works out.
Yeah.
And, they're everyone's trying to do the best they can, and it's all about effort.
Yeah, it's great.
So
it's great. It's wonderful, Alex.
But I want to thank you also. I want to just thank you and Henry for taking the time out of your
It's a pleasure.
busy schedule. And I'm glad I was
fun.
able to be here. And it's too bad that Gary and Bill couldn't be here, or Jamie. But it's fine. They'll see it on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's all right. But I just again thank you to all the partners that were partnered for this project, and keep the surprises coming, Gary.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so it's a great park. I'm sure you drive by it and see it. You can park either on Pine Orchard Road or Old Pine Orchard Road. And as Alex said, it's a great piece of property. It's along the banks of the Branford River, and it's got all these beautiful trees and flowers now. It's all been cleaned up. It was all being taken over by all kinds of invasive species, but it's all fixed now.
They're actually doing a project down which we're I told Gary we're not involved in it, but then when we thought back to it, we were involved down at Pine Orchard. I call it Pine Orchard. It's early learning center. No, I'm calling it wrong, aren't I? But
the old school,
the old Pine Orchard School,
yeah,
where I actually went to kindergarten. That was the first,
I did too.
Before St. Mary, but that was because I didn't have kindergarten in St. Mary back then. But that was 1965. I was there, and Mrs. Temple was my kindergarten teacher, and they had a basketball court. But we came back to help out that group because it is on town property. It's the Board of Ed and us, but. What happened was the town got involved, and Gary, when Gary first came to work, he helped with that playground area that we did. Yeah. So we were involved in the playground. They used one of our vendors, so I saw that through with them. And then, but again, he's doing the same thing now. If you come down the Tabor Drive, it's the invasives are getting the same situation. So you already have a clear view basically to the trail now from the back of the school. So a big improvement there, and they're not finished. They're getting there. But it's really tight because I'm saying, Gary, it's got to be tough with all the poison ivy. They have to wear these, certain masks and certain gloves.
Oh, my Lord. Really?
Well, that's what I'm saying because a lot of those invasives, there's poison ivy in there. So.
I see, yeah.
And they have to wash down after Gary was telling me a little bit about it. So
yeah, wow.
That was it. And I'm still trying to learn about a bell trap, which is
What's that?
Which is what's that? Well, ask Gary. No, but it was actually when we were talking about when we were building the community house. It was just it's construction as they say, but it basically was part of the storm drain, and stuff like that. It was just a term that I kind of learned.
Oh, I see.
So I'm still learning. So that's what I'm saying, and I kind of know poison ivy or sumac, but sometimes they don't. So you have to be very careful when
That's true. Yeah.
you get there. So
yeah, for sure.
So we got the right people doing the right job. They know what they're doing.
Good. That's great to hear.
But again, it's happening all over. But it's really what a difference. I ride my bike down there. I come by. It's open just like this, open to the river, open to the area, and it's just they did a great job. And again, and the last person, Ryan Van Wilgen. I don't say that because Ryan's the one that is actually getting the work done. too, with his staff.
Yeah.
And
They're doing great.
He was down here the last time. So it was they started last year, they finished this year. So I'm glad that we're doing, again, like I said with Foote Park, we're doing at the conclusion. That's probably the best time to go over. So we'll do that again down at Foote Park.
All right. Also, I just wanted to mention the Van Wilgens. Currently, right, as we said, this was their homestead, right? At the time the grandfather was first here, that was the garden center there. They had the greenhouses and everything behind that house, right? So currently, they've expanded huge in the last 100 years. Currently, right, the Van Wilgens Garden Center it's right over the town line in North Branford, 51 Valley Road. And then, Alex, recently they've been opening stores. They have stores now in Old Saybrook, Guilford, Milford, and they're going to be opening in the fall in Clinton. So they're really expanding. It's a great company, it's a great place to get your garden supplies.
Oh yeah, and it's if you've been there. I mean, everyone just take a visit there. 'Cause it's absolutely. I know what it looks like from looking down the property with the pond down below there.
Yeah.
But now plus I know now what it's looking up that way. They got a beautiful piece of property there.
Yeah.
And like you said, I didn't realize they expanded that far, but they've just they've done a great job, and I'm just more appreciative for all the volunteer work they've done over the years, and I don't think we've ever, really acknowledged them like they should have been,
Yeah.
And they're not really looking for that either.
No.
That's how Gary is and how Bill is. But I'm sorry, they've got to get credit where credit is due.
Exactly.
Where it belongs, as they say. But
they've been good to us,
Yeah.
and now I mean, they have stores, so you have to be good to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
we all are.
But Frank, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Again,
Thank
for having
you
us
too,
again,
Alex. It's always great to talk with
Anytime,
you,
yeah.
and all the improvements. They're always being made, and this is a great example of it. It's just came out tremendous.
And thank you for your patience, Henry.
Okay, so
yeah,
great
thanks
to
for
be
having
with
me
you
again.
today.
Yeah, always
great to be
a
with you.
pleasure. We have a lot of fun, and
always.
we'll talk in another month or so when we
Okay.
get there.
All right,
to
very
do
good.
Part 2, all right.
All right, very good.
All right, thanks, Frank.
Okay, thank you too. Okay, so we've been with you again, and again, we'll be back again soon. Okay, so I'm Frank Toohill, and thanks again for being with us. It's Around the Town of Branford with Henry, Frank, and Alex. Until next time, goodbye.